other from the cafe place down the street. Muffins, cinnamon twist things, scones.
You store this gavel?
Hmm?
Where's the little thing, or don't they have a little piece of wood they're supposed to hit?
Yeah, probably, they don't really gavel it often.
Hello? Ooh. It's working, that works. That works, but it doesn't really, it's not that great. Yeah, it's not.
And you need this one, why?
Because that's where the Zoom sound comes from, not the phone.
The Zoom sound.
Like, if people are on Zoom and they're talking, if they're joining us by Zoom.
Oh, it comes,
Yeah, it comes.
so can you move this?
That microphone, that one should be on.
No, can you move this cable to another mic?
Right?
Oh,
No, this one. Is this
No, I
long
know.
enough to?
no. This is on.
Are you sure?
We don't want it too loud because it's all the way up against.
No, if that cable's long enough, you can just move it.
I think it's fine.
Morning. Hello. Say something, Sarah. Hello? Hello?
Hold on.
Usually it's up here and it hurts her
Yeah,
ears.
And then I opened that second one in here. There's like a humming, like a high-pitched sound that the speakers make sometimes, and it's doing it, Tammy Ritter can hear it, I heard her. Very high-pitched.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
My name is Ivan Garcia.
Jorge D. Ty.
Is there an item on the agenda of interest?
I don't even know what you got on the agenda.
Oh, why are you here?
Why am I here?
Yeah.
No,
You know what,
I care.
I don't have.
And I was curious too.
Right on.
Yeah, I'm curious about what this does and,
Oh.
Here's your own agenda if you'd like.
oh, thank you.
Yeah, we're the, Butte County.
Yeah, I applied for your committee, but I've never heard anything. Okay, so I ride the bus a lot. Up on the wall, that, you know.
Right.
If I would see that.
Social services.
I don't think so.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, if you're a regular bus rider, I know there's.
No, I didn't know when their next meeting was, and I didn't know how this was tied into it. But I noticed this sign on the bus again, boardwalk, and I was curious.
Did you take the bus here?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
That's what you're supposed to be.
That was our first board run.
Yeah, that's what I noticed, I guess it's gonna be every Thursday,
What?
but I'm
Really?
curious.
It stands for the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute and pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Board Member Connolly. Board Member Jersey.
Here.
Board Member Ritter. Here. Board Member Kimmelchu.
Here.
Board Member Peter.
Here.
Board Member Knuckles. Board Member Reynolds. Here. Board Member Calderon.
Here.
Board Member Pittman.
Here.
Board Member Tryout.
Here. All right, consent agenda. Anybody have anything they need to remove? Entertain a motion?
Move the consent agenda. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Regular agenda, we have none. Items for action, approval of the reserve funding for Paradise Transit Center cost increase, any.
We have agenda,
Item 8, action item, or that was consent, right? We're on to 9?
Yeah, we're on tonight.
Okay. Yeah, so just the Paradise Transit Center has been underway, as everyone's known, since October. We awarded it. We had been back and forth with the contractor, had some struggles with getting documents in from them. They're a little bit inexperienced with the federal aid process. Had some weather delays, so we opted to postpone the project, not start working days until they could start in the spring. So April 4th came around, started in the spring, we started our first working day, and continued to have some difficulties with some of the documentation. It's just that contractors aren't real familiar with federal aid process. It can be difficult for them to sometimes come up with the water pollution control plans and submittals and DBE and Buy America and all that kind of stuff. So we have spent a significant amount of time working with them to kind of keep them going, keep the project going, and in doing so, we've incurred a significant amount of construction management costs. Also together with some materials that we struggled with getting in or meeting Buy America requirements. And then we had an estimate error in a rather expensive item being concrete quantity on the platform. So all told together, looks like we're incurring about an additional $550,000, which I'm not real happy about. But the contractor, they were the lowest responsible bidder. They came in really low, so low in the first place that I offered for them to back out. They opted not to, so we kind of carried their commitment through. Doing so, getting to this point where we are today, so we've incurred some additional costs. Fortunately for us, we have our capital reserve fund, which we use for just such instances. We contribute to it along with the jurisdictions. We get about somewhere between $14, $15 million a year in transit development act funds from gas tax, operation fee, sales tax. So we contribute to what we call our capital reserve fund for transit, which is for things just like this. So our balance was very good. So we're able to use our capital reserve funds for this cost increase. So this $550,000, we should be able to complete the project due to construction management. So because of the number and the size of it, bringing it to for approval to go.
I got a question, just out of really curiosity. What was the difference to the low bidder versus the next?
About $150,000.
Realistically, we're about a $400,000.
Not that bad.
You said that the drainage and the grading issues, were basically not identified by the town's review. So is there any responsibility in terms of the review process? And, I mean, this is what we moved forward with, assuming that this was.
You know, we brought the plans to them before we advertised it, and it went through the planning department. And they did a review at it, but they really more looked at it from the building standpoint. At least this is more or less what we're finding out. And when the encroachment permit came in for the contractor, that's when the public works guys got a little bit more involved. And we had already known going into it that all of the recent paving on the roads up in Paradise had raised the grade. So because the project itself, a lot of Paradise projects are this way. There's a lot of grade and grade change. So trying to get water to go around corners and up hills and down hills and drains is difficult already. So we were already starting with a little bit of some grade changes. And then when we came in for the encroachment permit, the public works guys got better eyes on it and identified some things that we needed. So that kind of brought in some of these other costs to accommodate a couple of design changes that would allow access for fire department in particular, and not have any site distance issues, but also address some grade changes that would assure we get the water out of it. So,
I guess I make the assumption now that contractors that are working up on the ridge and that you know, are bidding on things, are aware of how things have changed after the fire, and it's not the first.
No, it's not. And, you know, I don't know that I don't know that it's really a bad thing because there's so much work going on up there. And it's good work. There's so much of it going on that it really is hard to keep up with. So I actually feel pretty good that we were able to accommodate. It wasn't so bad that it just blew everything. Let's take a step back and make sure our grades are working. But that takes time. So I don't really feel like it's, you know, the town's fault. I think monumental amount of stuff that they have going on. Planning department did really a pretty good job of addressing the small buildings that were there. Public Works guys got engaged at the encroachment permit process, and they were good. They were really responsive and helpful for us. So I don't feel like we really blew anything there. Circumstance.
Opening date for this.
We should be done by end of October. Still waiting on some panels. Electrical supplies are really hard to come by for some reason. Some of the commercial grade electrical panels, everyone's having trouble with getting. The American made stuff particularly is on a lot of back order, so those are really gonna be the things that we end up waiting for. So for all intents and purposes, it'll look like it's done. And we will use it, but some of the lighting and things may be a little bit electrical. For the most part, it's gonna be done in.
I just say thank you
Sure.
for working through the
Oh,
problem and for not throwing the town under the bus.
Yeah, no.
So that downtown area has been very difficult. It's a very older area. It's a built-out area. So we are finding, like, on a lot of our projects, it takes a little bit more eyes on. Like, you think you have it handled, then once this section gets done, it affects the next section. And so,
You know, the other thing that's difficult too is they've done so much utility work. Sometimes you open up the ground and you see a utility line and you're not sure if it's live or not. So, PID has a fair amount of abandoned pipes that you uncover and you don't want to cut through it because you really don't know what's in it. So that's been a little bit troublesome too, is just getting utility coordination to make sure that things we thought were there that showed up in USA that maybe weren't or in a different location, are hitting some.
I'll move approval, use the capital reserves funding.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Number 10, Andy, again, approval of the updated,
Morning, board. I'm over here.
oh, Amy, sorry.
Hi. So the agenda item that I'm bringing is regarding, an updated version of the managed device program document. So Department of so there's been several regulations that have gone up, had updates done on them, either with FTA or federal government in general. And so this is one of the regulations that has gone through that process with them. So they've issued a final rule on disadvantaged enterprise program, going into effect on May 9th of this year. It updated the section that relates to this regulation. And we're required to renew and update our own program document to ensure that it continues to meet the standards of the final ruling. The last time we did an update was in 2019, so it was kind of due for an update with terminology and kind of formatting and just some things that we did need to include anyway, to clarify. So the updated document draft was uploaded to the link, so I'm hoping you guys can look over that. And as part of this regular program, we do an annual renewal as well of activities and goals that are required to assure compliance with this regulation. So the DVD items were reviewed and update was made to the program document. There there was no significant changes as far as the goals and things were concerned. We did, stop, working with one DBE, but it did not affect our, overall goals that we did in our goal methodology last year, which is 1.35%. And, we're just continuing other monitoring, our, activities as required, outlined in that document.
Is there any strike version other than draft is there, but is there any version of this that shows what was changed?
Like a side-by-side version?
Yeah, or just with red line or,
There is not a red line version. I can produce one. Okay.
that doesn't make sense. It's just looking at a draft, I have no idea what's
Okay,
like, so.
yeah, I mean, on that page, I believe the previous version, the 2019 version was also available, until the draft is adopted, so. Because the 2019 version was always posted on our webpage, so it's always available.
It's stimulating reading, but.
I know. I know it's easy.
I'm not gonna read one and then the next.
I know, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Amy, can you just summarily characterize some of the updates that happened to it?
Yeah, hold on just a second. So, there was a significant change with, some of the forms, required for monitoring in the procurement process. They're requiring now, if it's, for example, if it's a buy and build project, the bidder has to, submit an open-ended performance plan to show their good faith effort in recruiting DBEs to meet the goals. They have to do a more detailed record of good faith effort. We have to collect more information about bidders and be submitting that, as part of our regular reporting. We updated the organizational chart, we had some changes there. There's a lot, I have it all highlighted here, so. Yeah, I think the OEPP, that, plan, that's pretty significant.
Is that specific to just design build?
That particular part is, the biggest changes are the monitoring of bidders list. There's changes to gathering information there. They need more detailed information, and ongoing reporting of that.
Which are things we already do. It's
Yeah.
just, it might be that design build was not falling under that.
Did we previously have to do that record of like the good faith effort? Or
Yes,
is
that's
that
always been done.
Yeah.
It's basically, they're basically expanding the recording because the way the recording was done before, it was very, like, minimal information, like, there wasn't even amounts of original contracts or, like, what the useful job, rating was, and, like, to make sure that they're doing that. So it's just it's more expansive because they, the federal level, want to be able to dive down deeper, and we weren't getting that information.
There's a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. We have several items for information, and do we have any speakers today? All right. So, items from the floor, we will adjourn to our next meeting on September 26th.
I think you're gonna go for the highway.
Oh, we do? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I thought those were for file. All right, I'm loving.
They're getting ready to talk about this new.
Like your stuff.
I wanna know about the new color scheme.
So close, so close.
We're trying to get you out of here.
Thank you.
All right, Sarah.
This is an exciting and quick item. We just wanted to provide an update on freight liners that we have being delivered. Actually, the first couple are arriving today. But this is the new design and color scheme for these buses. They should be in service, in the next month. So we just wanted to share what they'll look like with the wall, so you'll see them in the field soon.
Are we rewrapping all of the buses, or is just the new ones?
This is for the 6 new Freightliners for fixed route, kind of part of our effort to rebrand them, so if this works well, we might move for the other fixed route or paratransit.
How do the drivers feel about this scheme?
They've seen the image. I think people are generally excited that it will just be something new. Hopefully it will catch eyes and encourage people to ride.
Are we still the Beeline?
Yes.
Yes.
I love it.
We're gonna carry that to some extent. Look, but we're really gonna make an effort here to kind of turn things over a little bit and create a little bit more of an attraction to it. Maybe it'll extend use of it. And then our electric buses will be altogether a different color. We're gonna probably go towards a green on those. But this, if we feel like this is a potentially a good color scheme to incorporate moving forward. It may not all look exactly like this, but the cost to wrap these new 6 buses that we have is not that bad. So wrapped, it's better than paint. It's no good. Get tired of it.
Is there gonna be advertising on the back or anything?
On these new Freightliners, not immediately. We'll still advertise on our other fixed route fleet, but I wanted to just highlight the new colors and not cover it up with an ad for now.
Also gonna work on those ads a little bit. We're not really comfortable or happy with some of them look on the sides of the bus. The full wraps look pretty good. The abatement district one is okay, and Attaboy Plumbing has a really large one that wraps the entire, which look pretty good. But some of the ones that are on the lower panels don't look right sometimes, so we're working with those guys to treat those side panels a little with a border or something that separates it or makes it look better without being kind of.
2024 Regional Transit Plan, Sustainable Community.
Thank you. Good morning. Yeah, we just want to give you a quick update on the development of the 2024 RTP SCS. Let you know that we're continuing to be on track for approval at the December board meeting when it needs to be approved. We're also on schedule to release a public draft of the plan middle of next month, mid-September, and this is required for our public review period. It'll also coincide with the public review period for the supplemental EIR document. And then as part of this, we're going to do some additional public outreach. We need to hit the community events with kind of the pop-up format, and then also we'll be hosting a virtual community workshop. So haven't set that date yet, but we know it's going to be sometime probably mid-October. So we'll circle back at the September BCAG board meeting and let you guys know the date and time for that. And then at that September meeting, we're also expecting to provide more in-depth information on the draft plan. So kind of stay tuned for that. We're kind of heads down trying to get that draft out the door. Start on that. Then we also wanted to give you an update today just on the SCS scenario development. And you may recall from a previous board meeting, I think we reviewed all 4 of the potential SCS land use and transportation scenarios with you. And I think at the last meeting, we were indicating that we're having trouble with scenario 4, meeting that greenhouse gas reduction target that California Air Resources Board assigned to our region, which is 7% per capita GHG reduction target. And, I think at that time we were a little concerned that we might not meet it, but we've been coordinating with our consultant team and going through a bunch of modeling iterations and making some adjustments to scenario 4. We think that at this point, we're going to be able to meet that 7% target. It's still subject to review by California Air Resources Board regarding like the nuts and bolts of the modeling and make sure that they're okay with all that. But yeah, what we did was we just kind of went in and adjusted certain land use and transportation elements within the model itself, added some projects in there. And then we also added 4 different kind of off-model strategies, just ways to attain additional reductions which include a new workplace EV charger incentive program, also an e-bike funding incentive program. We'll work towards implementing once the plan is approved. We also increased our assumptions on telecommuting and telemedicine, background data that supports that, so we can agree with our metrics on that. And so, you know, when you add the on-model reductions, I think we got to 6.11%. Added to the off-model reductions, which is 0.44%, gives us to 6.55% for a reduction. But interestingly, CARB's SCS guidelines, or approved formal guidelines, say that the last step is to round the nearest percent integer, which gives us to 7%. So thankfully, the rounding is helping us out. So we just wanted to just give you that update, let you know that, you know, scenario 4 is going to be the preferred scenario moving forward because it's the only one that is able to meet the target. And then again, we're going to have an update for you at the September meeting. Some more information, RTP, the SCS.
Will CARB have already told you by then whether they accept that modeling? Or?
I don't think we're going to hear back from them by then. CARB is sort of notoriously slow at getting responses that SCS related. So I'm not exactly sure. We're getting ready to, we submitted a document to them called the technical methodology, which explains kind of the nuts and bolts of the regional travel demand model. They sent us comments back. We've just about wrapped up our responses to their comments. It also includes the off-model documentation, all the calculations we use. It's a tremendous amount of pages of information that they require. We're going to kick that back to them and just have to see.
Draft of the FTIP and air quality conformity determination.
Good morning, Board. The draft 2025 Federal Transportation Improvement Program and air quality conformity determination have been prepared, are available for public review. The BCAG Board is scheduled to adopt the FTIP and air quality conformity determination at the September Board meeting. All projects in the FTIP are specifically required to be in the Regional Transportation Plan Sustainability Strategy. This is an information item. Staff already held a public workshop as well as the required interagency consultation review group meeting made up of our federal, state partners to review conformity determination. I don't think we received comments at the conclusion of that meeting, so that's a good thing. A couple highlights on the draft FTIP. 25 specific projects are included for a little over $280 million over the next 4 federal fiscal year. Of note is for the Town of Paradise Road projects, Phase 1 and Phase 2, that make up $96.8 million. I expect Phase 2 to go up for fiscal year. So, all the programming and planning that we do, we are required to identify which federal performance metrics we are hitting. I summarize those in the memo of particular, or the performance measure 1, safety. Of the 25 projects, 196 million hit the safety measure. For pavement and bridge condition, performance measure 2, 50 million in investment included in the plan, and those are really our bridge projects and rehab projects, likely your local road projects or Caltrans. Performance measure 3 for freight mobility, congestion, and reliability. So the road projects would be included as the capacity increasing, relieving congestion, as well as transit, as well as our bike and ped projects. Collectively, over 250 million. Those 25 projects hit. And for transit, those funds that typically come to support regional transit, over 47 million identified in the FTIP. It's an information item. Public review period closes early September, but we always allow the public to provide comments.
Question.
Yes, sir.
What exactly
the, safety items referred to?
If a particular project aims to reduce some type of safety concern, that could be a bicycle pedestrian project that you're doing it because there's a concern, a safe routes to school, for example. Could be, a road rehab project that is, the purpose is to align a safety concern, maybe a curve, or it's reached a point where it's really affecting public travel. So there's various, iterations in there.
Does, this include actually crosswalks and?
Good, yes. Absolutely, absolutely.
The project, that is designed for Ridley.
It hits a couple metrics there. Information item, we'll bring this back next month for adoption. And like always, once it's adopted by the BCAG board can amend at any time.
Draft 2020 Regional Transportation Plan, Sustainable Strategies.
Amendment number 3 to the current 2020 Regional Transportation Plan Sustainable Community Strategy. As I just said, all projects in the FTIP are specifically required to be included in the current adopted plan. Amendment number 3 ensures that the long-range plan is consistent with the short-range program. That's all it does. 3 projects are specifically included, one on behalf of Caltrans for a rehabilitation project. Road Phase 2 is identified, and the county was successful in securing emergency relief funds for Lumpkin Road. Information item, just ensure consistency.
From Oregon.
I'll offer a quick item. I got a tour of the San Ramon PG&E facility recently, and there's something there. I'm going to say this. I'm not an advocate for EV, but I saw something that they're soon to finish the testing on. Your home charging units for your e-car now going to be set up to, if you have a power loss in your house, your car will charge or power your house. Work reverse. I was not aware that was even in the process, but they're soon to offer certification to the home charging units. You charge your car and the power goes off your house, your car will automatically power your house. I think that's probably the next step to commercial power too. So I'm not saying this today, but your buses might end up being power units.
Maybe borrowing a book. Let's just make sure they keep running.
I just start with that. And the charging units are out there and soon to be available, and they've been they're tail end of a 3-year testing process.
They have electric tractors.
Set up to actually power specific units on the farms, electric tractors too. Same kind of process. So here we go. Yeah.
Now I will adjourn us until
All right.
September 26th.
Okay. All right. Good work. Good job.
And